These are books that I will probably never read, and why. You can try and convince me if one of your favorite books are on here, but it's not looking too good. I've been traumatized by book talk one too many times. Everyone lost my trust. I'm never picking up these books, even if you recommend them and even if you think they're the best thing in the world. I don't trust anyone anymore. So, Binks is now sitting on my lap. Okay, number one is Fourth Wing. I've seen so much about this on TikTok, but it's fantasy, and I have never read a fantasy, but I am just not interested in it because it just sounds so stupid. No shade if you read fantasy, I know a lot of people do, but I just can't get behind the idea of dragons and fairies and all of that shit. Like, I just cannot, like, I just can't get into it. But I love Brittany Broski. She is my idol. She's my president. She loves Fourth Wing, and she's been talking about that in Iron Flame. And I don't know, I just would do anything this woman asked me to, and she is so obsessed with this series. I just feel like it has to be good because she likes it. Does that make sense? So, like, I know that it's enemies to lovers, but it's fantasy. And I've heard that the writing is like Wattpad. So I don't know, but Brittany Broski liked it. And it's Brittany Broski. So I don't know. That could change. I doubt it, but I'll probably never read that. Number two, I think this is fantasy. It's the Shatter Me series. I know it's fantasy, I think. I know it's young adult, and no hate to young adult readers, but I'm just not in that era of my life anymore. That was me back in junior high and middle school. I'm not a YA girly anymore, and that's okay. But I will never read this. I don't know what it's about. Like, I don't know who. I think Aaron Warner is the guy in this. I always see fucking TikToks about this motherfucker. I don't know what he is. I don't know what he does. I don't care. I'm not reading it. I don't care. Number three. Okay, my sister loves this book, but it's Things We Never Got Over. First of all, it's a hefty fucking book. It's like, she's thick, okay? Big books scare me for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. My sister was telling me the plot of this book as she was reading it, and she was just so entertained. Like, it's one of her favorite romance books, and the way she was explaining shit it just made it sound so stupid. The plot does not do it for me. And she was reading me some of the sex scenes, and it sounded cringy, and I can't do that in my life right now. I just can't, okay? So the entire series, I'm never picking it up. Okay, number four, my opinion will literally never change on this, but any book by Tessa Bailey. First of all, Tessa Bailey pops up on my For You page. I think I have her blocked, but she used to pop up on my For You page, and she is just so millennial. Her vibe is just not for me. I see, like, chapters that people post of her books on TikTok making fun of it. She talks about TikTok. I just read some of the stuff, and it just seems so millennial and cringy. Like, I just can't. I will never read a Tessa Bailey book. I'm sorry. It just seems so cringy. Look her up on TikTok. I swear you will cringe. And if you're cringy in real life, your books are gonna be cringy. Not to be a hater or anything. Okay, I'm editing right now, and I forgot to say it in this video, but she just came out with the book I saw because it was on my TikTok, and the main guy is a golfer, and like she was explaining the tropes, and it said bad boy, and there are no bad boy golfers. I swear to God. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, number five, Penelope Douglas. Any book by her. Whenever I was getting into reading, not getting into reading, but I was trying to become like more of a heavy reader, I went on TikTok and looked up recommendations, and this was like 2021, okay? And everyone and their mom was reading Punk 57, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. I just knew it was enemies to lovers, and I read it, and it was like high schoolers having sex, which, like, for me, I was a high schooler, so it wasn't weird at the time. I never finished it though, by the way, because the plot was just not giving, and I meant to like pick it up again, but I never did. But I would never go back and read it now. I'm 20 now. I don't want to read about high schoolers having sex, and I think it's weird that there are grown women who read Penelope Douglas when all the main characters are like 18 or they're in high school. Like, I don't know, that's just very strange to me. I don't want to read about high schoolers having sex. I don't even want a book that's just about sex. So, and I think that's all her books are, which if that's what you like, fine, whatever, but I need a book with a good plot, and if it has sex in it, that's just a little reward. It's just like the cherry on top. But like, I don't have to have a book with sex in it. I don't know. And I'm not really into like incest. That'll do it for me. That will do it for me. All right, the last one, my sister also read this book and she liked it, but I could never read it. It's Magnolia Parks, and the entire series, like, first of all, it's so big, and I heard what the first book is about, and it just seems like they're cheating on each other, and like, I think they're in high school. I think maybe I'm wrong, but that's just too young of an age range for me to read now. And I don't want to read about the main guy who is supposed to be the love interest cheating on the main character. Like, that's just very strange to me and not interesting. Okay, I think this last one is going to be a little life. Um I used to always say I'm never going to read this, like, because it's so depressing and it's so big. It just seems really sad, and I normally don't read sad books. I read happy romances or dark and twisted stuff. I don't ever read sad books just so I can feel sad and cry. Recently, I've been wanting to read it, and I don't know why. And I'm debating on reading it or not because it's a big commitment for like an 800 something page book. The last time I read an 800-page book was After We Fell by Anna Todd. And it took me so long to get through that. Okay, thanks for watching this video. If you read Fourth Ring, let me know. I really have thought about reading it. But I don't like fantasy, so I feel like I'm just gonna be laughing at it the whole time. Apparently it's like Divergent, but like with dragons. But it's enemies to lovers. And Brittany Broski likes it. Does that mean I should read it? I don't know. I might stick to my cowboy romances. Okay. Anyways, say bye to the men on my wall. Oh, also follow my TikTok if you want to. That's totally up to you. But